as long as we've got an absolute fanatic who can make a 1/48th scale model that's up to snuff. And I'm talking 10 billion% accuracy here. Got it?
Who do you think you're dealing with? I'll make you a ship that's truly worth getting excited about.
They can do whatever they put their minds to!
I never give up on anything. Because greed equals justice!
Direct characterization is probably something you haven't thought about since your 5th grade English class, but if you're like me, whenever it comes up in the shows you watch or the games you play, it irks you a little bit. When an unknown character walks into a scene and says something like,
"Don't go thinking I've got some moral compass. I'm unbelievably shallow. Give me a life surrounded by hot girls and I'm happy as a clam."
It feels quite annoying, but at the same time is a necessary evil. Without moments like these, we would have no idea about things like who characters are, their motives, or even major story elements in world building. One of the biggest components to writing an engaging story is immersion. Making the viewer form their own thoughts, opinions, and theories about a story and characters often leads to people having a much better outlook on the work as a whole and a much deeper personal, emotional connection to the story. Think about a time you noticed a small detail in a story that seemed off to you, or noticed the tiniest shift in a character's expression, which led to you creating your own idea or theory that ended up coming true. That is one of the best feelings you can have as a viewer, and that feeling is sourced from a writer's ability to create immersion. When a show has too much exposition dumping and direct characterization, however, the chances to create these small details is severely limited. One of the best examples of this is something I've already talked about on this channel, the comparison of Aang from the original Last Airbender and Aang from the Netflix live-action adaptation. In the original, Aang is almost exclusively characterized with indirect characterization in regards to him being a goofy kid who likes to mess around and have fun. This leads to the story beat of him having to leave those old thought patterns and old habits behind in order for him to assume his responsibility as the Avatar. Well, of course he achieves this by the end of the series. Imagine this accomplishment without all the build-up, and without the viewer actually seeing how far Aang came and changed to get to that point. Well, that's exactly what the live-action adaptation does. Live-action Aang loves to tell instead of show. This scene specifically is burned into my brain.
I know who I am. I like to play airball and eat banana cakes and goof off with my friends. That's who I am.
Now, because of this, the finale of this series, if they even get to that point, will be much, much less compelling. Now, what if a show came along that took all of those ideas I just posed and turned them completely upside down? To my shock and awe, that is exactly what my favorite Minecraft anime, Dr. Stone, does. And instead of letting too much direct characterization bring the show down, the creator has an extremely unique way of using the very flaw I just outlined to their advantage. If you clicked on this video, I'm sure you're already aware, but Dr. Stone is an anime about many things, but mainly science, learning, and most importantly, humanity. A lot of people confuse Dr. Stone for being the science anime, and while it looks like that on the surface, if you dig deeper, you realize that the entire premise of Dr. Stone is asking the question, what would happen if all of humanity's efforts were reset to nothing? Dr. Stone makes the beauty of humanity a very prominent theme. It reminds us that almost everything we have come to be used to today was not here thousands of years ago, and we can only enjoy these things due to the culmination of thousands upon thousands of years of humanity's efforts. Because humanity has been reset in the Dr. Stone universe, the anime's main goal is to rebuild, and from the moment Senku and Taiju break free from their statues, that's exactly what they do. The main philosophy of Dr. Stone is that science is the culmination of humanity's efforts and willingness to try new things, and that there is a prodigious beauty in that endeavor. But that philosophy is run by two factors: the culmination of all the efforts, of course, and the humanity. The humans that are actually driving that effort and knowledge forward. Throughout Dr. Stone, the short-term conflicts generally follow the same loop. The Kingdom of Science wants to rebuild humanity, so Senku needs resources. This drives him and his team to go get those resources, and by getting those resources, they're able to build other things like weapons, machines, that kind of thing. This, of course, opens up new doors for the Kingdom of Science to be able to build even newer things. But the long-term goal is the same as what most of the short-term goals are working together to achieve: the complete restoration of humanity, and then some in Senku's words. It's because of this loop that the Kingdom of Science steadily builds an arsenal of items and machines, like furnaces, a telephone, a light bulb, even Coca-Cola. But at the same time as these items are growing in number and complexity, so are the people Senku meets. It starts slowly and quite unnoticeably at first, but as time goes on and the story progresses, Senku meets new person after new person. However, these people that he meets provide many times more value than the machines he creates. His goal is to bring back the science that was the culmination of humanity's efforts. And of course, he can't do that without the humanity. So you might be wondering, how does this all relate back to direct characterization? Well, it has to do with the personalities and skills of the people Senku meets, and even the personality and skills of Senku himself. Everybody that Senku meets throughout his entire journey has their own unique personality, ideals, and most importantly, skills. Every character is a paragon of the thing or things they're best at. And the most interesting part, almost every character stays the exact same throughout everything we've seen so far in terms of personality. Some change their ideals, some gain an extra boost in terms of their skill set, but for the most part, these three things in every character stay the exact same. Not only this, but interestingly, these character traits are all reinforced through direct characterization. One of the best examples of this is Ryusui. His ideals are that money brings the world together and that if there's something he wants, he'll get it. His personality is one of greediness and gusto, and his skill set is in maritime practices and navigation. In a way, the main characters of Dr. Stone are only slightly different from the machines and items Senku makes. The only slight difference being that the characters have personalities and ideals. The only reason that Ryusui was revived was because of his skill set. While his personality is very funny and, in my opinion, likable, the only reason he was added to the story in the first place was because there was simply nobody who could navigate a ship. His greedy personality is so one-note too, and there are so many times in which he is called the greediest man in the world. Every single main character is like this. Senku is amazing with science and knowledge of it, but doesn't concern himself with much else. Ukyo has amazing ears and can shoot a bow with incredible precision, and Tsukasa is insanely strong and an incredible fighter. These skills, personality types, ideals, and even smaller things like hand signs, catchphrases, and titles like World's Greediest Man are reinforced over and over to create this effect. This is all very much intentionally done, but raises the question of why do this, and why doesn't this break the immersion like other media that overuses direct characterization? Well, if Dr. Stone were written like most other media, it absolutely would. Having characters that are characterized this directly would get very old after a while.
First, I need to gather up materials. That's always been my specialty. Less thinking, more action.
And couple that with how static almost every character is in their ways and thinking, in almost every other situation, you would have a very boring story. Once again, we have to take a look at the gameplay loop of Dr. Stone. Because every arc in Dr. Stone is about securing resources of some sort, whether they be tangible items, crucial territory, or even people, the show has this almost deck-building aspect to it, which fills that immersion void, which is created by overusing direct characterization, and funnily enough, comes full circle to even help the immersion be even better. If that's confusing, let me give you an example of what I mean. But before I do that, please consider subscribing to help me in my ongoing effort to beat the Spanish Sonido and subscriber count. I can't believe it, but in just a couple months, we only have about 2,000 more subscribers to go before we're there, so please consider subscribing. Thank you. Back to the video.
Shut up, Video Sonido. Hi, Editing Sonido here. I promise I'll get back to the video in a second, but when I went to the Spanish Sonido's channel, I went to his comment section from a video from about 5 months ago, and I saw a comment in there that said this, and he liked it. So, yeah, he knows about me now, and immediately after liking that, he went and started uploading more videos. So I need you guys to lock in for me. Okay, Editing Sonido out. See ya.
One of the best examples of this deck-building aspect of Dr. Stone is Season 3, Episode 12, titled The Kingdom of Science Strikes Back. For context, in this episode, the main struggle comes after almost all of the Kingdom of Science gets petrified by the island people. The only survivors still free to move about the island being Senku, Gen, Soyuz, and Suika, who was just saved from the ship by Ryusui. Everyone apart from Ryusui, who the island people assume to be the leader of the Kingdom of Science, is thrown into the water in tiny pieces. Ryusui's statue is publicly destroyed in order to make an example, at which point the spy team is able to deliver him to the science team, who are able to put him back together and revive him using the platinum they recently acquired. With Ryusui back, the science team's new main goal is of course to save the rest of the Kingdom of Science, who were thrown underwater. This is actually one of the worst positions we ever see the Kingdom of Science in. All of the people they need to progress, all of the people with special strengths that can help them overcome this island and its people, are all trapped deep underwater. So now we have our main goal, to recover the most valuable resource, the people that make the Kingdom of Science in the first place. So Ryusui and Soyuz attempt to dive down and pull up the statue of Kaseki, who they need for their drone plan. The water is too deep to be able to go all the way down without running out of air, so the Kingdom of Science takes a step back to make some oxygen tanks. They spend hours making 2 shoddy looking oxygen tanks, and when they're done pressurizing them, they only have 10 minutes of underwater breathing each. Now here's the main conflict. Since they use spare parts from the mobile lab to build these oxygen tanks, they only have 2. They have exactly 1 chance to dive down and find Kaseki, who, being the craftsman, is the only person capable of making more and thus saving the rest of the kingdom. So then we have our resources at hand. Those are 2 diving tanks that last 10 minutes, and looking at the characters as their best talents, we have extraordinary memory, including spatial memory, genius level knowledge of sailing, the ocean, and weather, genius level knowledge of science, genius level knowledge of psychology, and Suika. In the upcoming sequence, you can see how the show uses every single resource it has readily available to its fullest potential by the characters to achieve the desired outcome. As Ryusui and Soyuz dive down, Soyuz tells Ryusui where the statues would be at if they fell with a certain force and angle, utilizing his superior memory. Ryusui uses his maritime knowledge to ascertain that the place the statues fell was within a rip current, which would have sent them out into the open ocean. Utilizing this information, they are able to locate Kaseki and all the others, but aren't able to pull his statue out of the sand. Meanwhile, Senku has been using his superior calculation abilities and science knowledge to calculate how much oxygen is left in the air tanks. He communicates that Ryusui and Soyuz only have 3 minutes left via the rope attached to Ryusui's tank. Realizing that this is the only dive they will be able to do without Kaseki, Ryusui attempts to send a message via Morse code by pulling on the rope attached to him. Realizing that Ryusui won't spend time they don't have sending an entire message, Gen uses his psychology knowledge to attempt to figure out what they could be asking for. Gen realizes that it's Japanese Morse code, and using just a single character, Fu, Senku comes to the conclusion that the thing they are asking for is revival fluid, which he immediately throws in the water attached to the rope. Ryusui gets the revival fluid, and thinking quick on his feet, his plan is to revive Taiju, because Taiju has the most power and could get Kaseki unstuck from the sand. He creates a pocket of air to pour the revival fluid on him when...
Oh no! He's missing part of his arm! If we revive him now...
Soyuz immediately springs into action, and once again using his superior memory, he remembers the pose that Taiju was in when he was petrified, and is able to correctly select the right arm among all the body parts strewn across the ocean floor. He holds it into place while Ryusui pours the revival fluid onto Taiju. Since Taiju has superior stamina, he only needs 1 breath of air, and all 3 divers head over to Kaseki's statue, where they are finally able to pull him out utilizing Taiju's superior physical prowess. Due to every single character working in tandem here, the Kingdom of Science is able to take a seemingly impossible task, break it down, and overcome it. We see this conflict loop everywhere in the show, from something so small as needing to collect a couple rocks, all the way to the main overarching goal of restoring all of humanity. Every single conflict is resolved due to the special skills that all of our main characters have. This deck building aspect of the show fills the immersion void created by the direct characterization because it allows a new avenue for viewers to create their own theories about who will be utilized for certain goals. When you think logically about which character's skills would be best utilized in certain situations, it's not hard to be correct about who the show actually ends up utilizing. When these theories are paid off, and when you pair them with the high-stakes action and excitement the conflicts of Dr. Stone have, you 10 billion% get that lost immersion back. Looking even deeper still, because Dr. Stone's characters are mostly unchanging, it's almost like you have to look at every character as one big, ever-growing blob. Like all of them together make one big character. Every time a new person is revived, they come with a new set of skills, a new personality, and they add their own special flair to the Dr. Stone cast. All of the characters work together with each other to accomplish tasks, and all of their skills are used to the absolute fullest in order to achieve their goal. Each one of them may be small in capability on their own, but when they work together, they can accomplish amazing things. Almost like a machine. Dr. Stone breaks the rules of storytelling to further drive home its main point, that science is the culmination of 2 million years of effort, and just like the resources they collect, just like the machines they build, the Kingdom of Science would be nothing without the culmination of humans as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'd like to thank my Patreon subscriber. Yes, I meant to say that without an S because we got our first subscriber over on Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel, get some cool benefits such as channel shoutouts, video updates, and more, consider subscribing on Patreon. If you're the next person to support me, you alone can make Patreon subscriber plural. Oh god. Once again, thank you for watching. I've been Sanito, and if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing.